Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, we are from group 2. In this opportunity, we would like to tell you about our review podcast. Let's get started.
You're telling a friend an amazing story, and you just get to the best part when suddenly he interrupts. The alien and I, not me and the alien. Most of us would probably be annoyed, but aside from the rude interruption, does your friend have a point? Was your sentence actually grammatically incorrect? And if he still understood it, why does it even matter?
So what we did about this podcast here? I disagree with what was said in the podcast because I think we can still learning language without learning grammar. We just need to watch movie and memorize sentence that have already been structured. So we don't need to think about whether it's right or wrong.
That's what I was gonna say. What do you think? What about you, next one?
I think grammar in a language is important because it allows us to communicate freely and effectively. It is true that some people can learn a language without understanding grammar rules. However, understanding grammar formally can accelerate the learning process and help someone avoid common mistakes.
Yeah, also right.
So I also think that grammar helps people understand the message being conveyed without confusion or misunderstanding. By mastering grammar, we can express ourselves accurately and avoid errors that can be obscures the meaning of our message.
Yeah, but I still think it doesn't matter as long as people understand what we are saying.
It's over to you.
Every year, about 1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary. Where do they come from, and how do they make it into our everyday lives? With over 170,000 words currently in use in the English language, it might seem we already have plenty. Yet, as our world changes, new ideas and inventions spring forth, and science progresses, our existing words leave gaps in what we want to express. And we fill those gaps in several ingenious, practical, and occasionally peculiar ways. One way is to absorb a word from another language. English has borrowed so many words over its history that nearly half of its vocabulary comes directly from other languages.
So what do you think about this podcast, Aisha? Interesting. I agree with opinion in this podcast. There are many ways that we can learn new words. And in this video, we can use some methods so that we understand the new word. That's what I was gonna say. What about you, Rahman?
I think I have the same opinion as her. It's kind of interesting for me too, because English is an extreme case of lexical flexibility language, often pressing to have the largest vocabulary of any living language. So because of that, we can get like a new word from the society nowadays. And this video also clearly states that around 50% of the words on record are loan words, though, and they seldom go through any adaptation to the English language or phonetical patterns.
Also right.
During their training, medical residents learn countless techniques, surgeries, and procedures which they'll later use to save lives. Being able to remember these skills can quite literally be a matter of life and death. With this in mind, a 2006 research study took a class of surgical residents learning to suture arteries and split them into two groups. Each received the same study materials, but one group implemented a small change in how they studied them. And when tested 1 month later, this group performed the surgeries significantly better than the other residents. We'll discuss the secret to that group's success, along with 2 other highly effective study techniques, which can be applied both in and out of the classroom. But to understand why these methods work, let's first unpack how the brain learns and stores information.
So guys, what do you think about this podcast? I agree with the opinion in this podcast. These tips are great reminder that effective studying involves more than just passive reading or memorizing. It requires active engagement in reading and a willingness to break up your study sessions over time.
I also agree because there are 3 practical steps that we should follow if we want to study effectively and get satisfactory results.
And I think sleep is crucial. The night before an exam, I make sure to sleep and it helps. Pulling all-nighters doesn't work for me. Explaining the concept to someone else in how I test myself on how well I understood the topic myself.
Well, my opinion is pretty much the same with them. There is a lot of tips on how to study effectively, but in that video I only show 3. But I'm pretty sure there is a lot more. So I think that's some kind of good tips that are being shown in the video.
Thank you for all of your opinion, and that's all for our podcast today. Thank you.